Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Delightful Kiss Boy, and today I'm going to be trying to get kicked out of every single casino in Fallout New Vegas. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, that's no big deal, bud. In fact, I've done it myself. But have you tried to do it with only one luck, the worst luck in the game? Because that's what I'm going to be attempting to do today. For those who don't know, having a low luck stat negatively impacts your performance when it comes to the gambling games. So I'm basically shooting myself in the foot. Why? I don't know. Content, man. We're going to give it a whirl. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing because I do all sorts of game analysis, gambling analysis, some challenges, whatever I feel like doing on this channel. And this video was initially going to be part of a larger video I'm working on that's going to be covering all of the gambling in Fallout New Vegas, kind of how the games work, how luck affects them, optimal strategy, etc., etc. But that video is getting so big, I just chunked this out into its own thing. So that's what we're doing today. So let's just get into it. So how do we even get kicked out of a casino? Well, much like many online casinos in real life, you win too much and all of a sudden they don't want to play with you anymore. So each casino in the game has its own individual cap. Then when you hit that in terms of winnings, they kick you out. I mean, you can still go in the casino, but you just can't play any of the gambling games. So let's go over what those caps are from smallest to largest. First of all, we have the Vicky Advanced Casino with a 2,500 cap limit. I should say chip limit because you're using chips, technically. Then we have the Atomic Wrangler in Freeside, right outside of the Strip. They have a limit of 5,000 chips, and then you're cut off. Then we move on to Gomorrah in the Strip, and they have a limit of 9,000 chips. Then we have the Tops with a limit of 10,000 chips. And finally, we have the Ultralux with a whopping 15,000 chip limit. So all in all, we need to win 41,500 chips with a luck of 1 in order to pass this challenge. May God have mercy on my soul. But you know what? We're going to give it a whirl. It might take a while. And so let's just get a move on. I'll kind of explain things along the way, and it'll be a fun time. All right, and here we are at the Ultralux, where I'm going to begin my quest to bankrupt every casino on the Strip. Starting with the hardest one, the Ultralux. And I've got my... here we go. Where are we? 1 luck. Ready to go. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get my chips. We're going to see how many attempts this takes me. So how's this challenge going to work? Well, the first rule is that I can't save scum in between getting kicked out of casinos. So that means that I have to get kicked out of every casino on the same save file, right? So I can't just get kicked out of the Ultralux, then go over the Tops and fail at getting kicked out there, and then reload to after I beat, you know, the Ultralux. I have to do every single casino in one go. That's one attempt. The second rule is that if I ever dip to a winning balance below negative 15,000 in any casino, I have to start over. That's a failed attempt, all right? So that's going to be my cutoff point where it's just, you know, there's no hope left, all right? Then I got to reload and start all the way over. And so I want to see how many times is it going to take me to do this. All right, so let's just get back into it here. All right, roulette time. Let's sit down. We got our 15,000 caps. We have to get to 15,000 in profit. So we're going to strap in and be here for a while. All right, and I have to do this every fucking time. Set the thing manually and then spin. All right, we're putting 200 on 7 every time to start off with until we get within 7,000 chips of our goal, which could take a while. All right, here we go. Let's increase the bet. And boom. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to be here for a while, I can tell you that much. All right, we got 36 next. So you may be wondering, why are we only playing roulette here? Well, the reason is that in Fallout New Vegas, for some reason, roulette is the only gambling game that is not affected by your luck stat. And given that we have a luck of 1, which is dog shit, actually the worst in the game, we probably want to play the game that isn't impacted by luck, right? And without spoiling too much for my upcoming video where I'm going to cover everything, all the games, all that stuff, I will tell you that the house edge of 5.26% that you get from playing double zero roulette is much lower than the house edge you get from playing either blackjack or slots at Luck 1. So it's the game that we're going to go with. It gives us the highest probability of achieving our goal. And so that's all we're doing. We're just running it back over and over again, roulette professional style, am I right? But anyway, we're coming up on 38 spins with no luck, losing every single spin. Let's tune back in and see how we do for spin number 39 here. There we go. 200 over here. Let's see what's up. There we go. We got the 7. All right, so we are only negative 600 down now. Whoops, shit. I put one chip down. I mean, I hope that we don't win this because it'll put me on a weird number. Wow, wasn't that the most exciting thing you've ever seen in your life? Delightful Kiss Boy secures the W by hitting the 7. Wow, well, you know, we're still 600 chips in the shitter. But, you know, if you listen back, you might hear the faintest glimmer of hope in my voice that maybe this challenge won't be quite as long as I thought it would be. Well, we'll see about that. We'll check in later. In the meantime, I want to talk about bet sizing. If you look closely, you may notice that I'm making 200 chip bets every single time. Except for that one time I fucked up and only bet one chip. But we're not going to talk about that, all right? Why am I making 200 chip bets every time? Well, that is the maximum bet that you can place in roulette, the maximum number of chips that you can place on the table at once. And so we're making the max bet every single time. Well, why is this advantageous to us? Why do we want to do this? Well, let's look at an example, all right? Imagine you go to a casino and they're offering a new game called Coin Flip, one of the most exciting games around. And it actually would be because it's going to turn out to be a fair game, all right? But basically what you do is you go up to the dealer and you make a bet, all right? Let's say $1. Then the dealer flips a coin, and if it comes up heads, you win $1. If it comes up tails, you lose $1. Go home and cry, little bitch. I don't know why I'm being mean, all right? Let's continue with the example, all right? I'm getting heated. In any case, let's take a look at a graph of our possible outcomes with one single bet. Well, you can see here, it's very exciting. There's a line between 2 points. On the left, that represents us losing $1, which happens 50% of the time. On the right, that represents us winning $1, which happens 50% of the time as well. All right? Well, let's say that we make 2 consecutive $1 bets. Well, let's graph the possible outcomes that we have from that kind of betting, all right? So now we can take a look here, and we have 3 points now, okay? A little nipple, a little pointy nipple now, all right? So on the left, we have losing $2. That would be if we got tails 2 times in a row. That's going to happen 25% of the time. On the right, we have winning $2, which also happens 25% of the time because it's equally likely that each flip is going to be heads or tails, right? And in the middle, we have 0, which means that we won once and lost once, and we're back right where we started. Real exciting. That's going to happen 50% of the time. Interesting. All right. Well, let's take 3 bets in a row. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, nice. We got a nice little trapezoid there. And you can see here that now we have a 1/8 chance of losing $3, a 1/8 chance of winning $3, and then we have a 3/8 chance of losing $1 and a 3/8 chance of winning $1. So what's the pattern here? You see that everything is getting kind of pushed towards the middle as we're making more and more bets. Well, let's just do one more. Let's round it off here. 4 consecutive $1 bets. What are our possible outcomes? Well, here, now, there is a 6.25% chance, or a 1/16th chance, that we lose or win $4. There's a 25% chance that we win or lose $2. And now there is a 3/8 chance that we basically don't get anything. We're right in the middle. We get the average outcome, right? And so, as you can see here, it's getting less and less likely for us to get these outer outcomes, right? It's 1/16th chance now to get the furthest out outcome because you have to win multiple consecutive bets, which gets less and less likely. Now here's the thing. What if we want to have a high chance of winning $4? What can we do? Well, what you can do is instead of making 4 consecutive $1 bets, you can make one big bet of $4. And now all of a sudden, look at this. Boom, we're back to our line, all right? On the left, we're losing $4 50% of the time. On the right, we're winning $4 50% of the time. And what we need to do, because we have such a lofty goal, is we need the extreme outcomes to be as likely as possible. I mean, preferably the positive outcome, but we're not going to get anywhere unless we bet big, and we bet only a few times. That's going to maximize our chances of getting to our goal. And so that's what we do every single time, all right? 200 chips down, 200 chips down, and looks like we're almost running out of money before failure. Let's see if we can, get back in the game, or if we're going to have one attempt down and starting attempt 2, all right? All right, and we are out of money on attempt 1. So let's go ahead and load her up. Try that again. All right, let's get back into it. Let's see how we do. So there's a neat little anti-cheat feature that's in the game that makes it so you have to wait at least 60 seconds before you can play a gambling game after you reload a save. So that's what I'm waiting for right here. 5. There we go. All right. Here we go. We'll move over to 9. All right, we're doing 9 now. I should mention that at this point I started trying to find lucky numbers, quote-unquote, just because I was bored and had nothing else to do. And so I ended up doing that. I also started watching some streams to help pass the time, so you might hear that in the background from time to time. Try to guess the streamer. All right.
Fuck, man.
Oh, shit, we got 9 right off the rip, man. Hell yeah, dude. All right, 9 right off the rip. We get kicked off the machine, and then we should get a prize. All right, he's running over. He's going to give us a prize here. What's up, man? Oh, it crashed. Great. Cool. Okay. Sweet. That's awesome. Well, that was a fucking bummer, because we had a nice win right off the rip, but then the game up and decided to crash, so that's a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and give that another whirl here. All right, let's get into it. We're going to do 9s again. This game, man. This game. Love the Bethesda crashes, dude. So much fun. All right, well, let's give my past self a little bit of time to continue to crash out about Bethesda crashes. But, I mean, come on, that was bullshit. Cut the guy some slack, you know? It's upsetting, right? But in the meantime, let me try to answer another question that you may or may not have about my strategy here, which is, why do I keep betting on a single number over and over and over again? Wouldn't it make more sense to take a more likely bet? For example, betting on a dozen, which is betting on more numbers, which means it's more likely to hit. Or betting on black, which is betting on 18 out of 38 numbers, nearly half the board. Wouldn't I want to take the bets that are more likely to pay out? Well, that's actually not what we want, and let me explain why. It's for a similar reason to what I was talking about earlier with why we want to make the max bet every single time. It's because when we do win, it puts us way further ahead than when we win on a more likely bet, all right? So let me just show you. It'll make more sense when I kind of plot this out for you, okay? So here is another graph of our outcomes when we place a $200 bet on a single number. On the left point of this line, you can see that we are losing $200, and that's happening 97.37% of the time, or 37 out of 38 attempts, we're going to lose $200. On the right, down, towards the bottom, approaching 0 there, we have a 2.63%, or a 1 out of 38 chance to win $7,000. That's what we get paid out if we actually win our single number bet. It pays 35 to 1, so we're winning $7,000, which puts us way ahead, almost halfway to our goal of getting to 15,000 chips like we need to do to get banned from the Ultra Lux, right? So in that small percentage of the time, we're going to come out way ahead. Well, it seems pretty damn small, right? I still think it might be better, you know, you might be saying, to bet on evens, for example. Let's take a look at an example of betting on evens 35 times in a row, because that's the minimum number of spins you're going to need to win $7,000, like when we bet on a single number. Okay, well, let's plot that out. All right, well, as you can see, there are way more points, way more possible outcomes here, and most of them are in the middle, right? You can see there's a little hump in the middle there, and most of the time you're going to get a slight loss or zero as your gain, okay? And you can't really see it because it's really, you know, really zoomed out here, but the outer extremities, basically winning or losing $7,000, are getting closer and closer to zero. How close to zero? Well, the odds of winning, betting on even or black or odds or whatever, basically those 18 out of 38 bets, the odds of winning one of those bets 35 times in a row and making $7,000 with $200 bets is 0.000000004%. All right? So in this case, 2.63% isn't looking so shabby compared to that number. All right? So this is the reason why we want to be placing bets on a single number, at least until we get close enough to our goal, and I'll address how we get to that later when it comes up. But for now, back to the attempt number 2.
Sorry. Joel banging out the tunes. Okay, no more. Sorry, boring everybody.
Lost again. It would have been nice if we had been able to keep that one where we won right off the bat. That probably would have made a difference there. But you know what? It's all good, man. It's all good. I feel so good about sitting here and gambling over and over and over again. And I gotta wait for this fucking thing. So yes, obviously morale was extremely high. I just could not wait to get into attempt number 3 and watch that wheel spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and manually set my bet to 200 every single time because Bethesda or Obsidian or whoever was responsible for this couldn't bother to write some logic that could cash my previous bet so I don't have to fucking do that every time. Yeah, it was awesome, man. I was just, oh man, I could not wait. And so let's see if attempt number 3 gives us any more luck. I'll fast forward a bit and let's see what happens. All right. Ah, hell yeah, we got another 24 right there. All right, so I'm going to move around. Here we go. All right, give me my prize. Don't crash this time. If it crashes, there we go.
You seem to be making a splash with all your success in the casino. Our executive chef prepared this delicacy for you himself. Enjoy.
Thank you. Brahmin Wellington added. All right, well, there we go. It didn't crash that time, and we're making good progress, so let's get back to it. All right, so we're at 8,800 chips, and so now I got to bring up my fun little spreadsheet I've got. And so now I'm actually in range of hitting my goal with one single bet. And now I don't need to make the max bet on a single number every single time. Instead, I'm referring to the spreadsheet I made that'll tell me how many numbers to bet on and how much to bet on those numbers in order to hit my goal with one single bet. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to choose the bet that is most likely to hit, aka betting on the most numbers, and betting the minimum number of chips on those numbers to get it in one go. And that's going to maximize my odds of getting to my goal. So let's see if it works. Good shit. Good shit. All right, I've been banned from gambling at the casino. Hell yeah. All right, so we've beaten the Ultra Lux here. So he's going to come up to me and he's going to tell me I'm banned.
This simply will not do. You must leave immediately. For a while, you were the toast of the Ultra Lux, but you're simply not in vogue any longer. Your act has gotten stale.
All right, I'm going.
You're still welcome to dine with us, of course. We've just had quite enough of paying you to play our games.
Great. All right, so we have gotten kicked out of the Ultralux at 1 luck, which is pretty good. So let's cash out here. Fuck yeah, dude. We got kicked out of our first casino, the Ultralux, after winning 15,000 chips with only 1 luck. And so now we're going to stumble and bumble our way over to the tops and see if we can't win 10,000 more chips over there and get kicked out of a second casino. Will attempt 3 be the win, or will it be a dud? And you also notice I got lost on my way to find where I buy chips because I'm stupid. But let's see how this attempt goes. All right. Start her up. And we got 200 on 24. Let's send back at 24. That was a lucky number. All right. 4. All right, 20 off. And so I begin gambling at the tops, and it begins much as you would expect, with me losing over and over and over again. And all I can do is sit and watch that little ball roll around that wheel, man. It's mesmerizing. And as I feel my sanity begin to drain, as I continue to get L after L after L after L, finally, something happens. And let's see what that is. Alright, so we lose in the tops. Womp womp, which means I have to start all over again. Alright, and we are back at the Ultralux. Let's just do it again, man. Run it back. Alright, here we go. Let's go with a number we haven't seen yet. Let's go with I don't think I've seen many 19s. Let's do that.
Abstract friend. The light and dark both burning dire. A countdown to the Earth's expansion.
Oh, hell yeah. Alright, we hit our 4 there. Which means that we're going to get our first prize here right off the bat. And the game crashed again. Oh my fucking god, dude. You kidding me, man? You fucking kidding me, dude? Is it going to do that every, other time I do this shit, dude? I might have to cheat that one in. Because, that's fucking annoying, dude. Yeah. Alright, you know what? I'm going to cheat that one in. Because I got the win there, and if it keeps crashing, that's just bullshit. So, let's do that. So attempt 4 was off to a great start with the game crashing, and so I decided to use Cheat Engine to help me edit the memory and update the earnings at the Ultralux, because I think that's fair. You know, if the game crashes, what are you gonna do? I set it back to the value before the game crashed, and I was gonna continue my run from there. Alright, let's edit this shit. 5,800. Alright. Fuck it. Okay, so it's not updated there yet, but it will update. So, we're going to do max bet, resuming on number 4 there. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Alright, 24, a little bit off there. But yeah, as you can see, 5,600. Alright, we're going to get our fucking prize now. Whatever. There we go. Yep, alright, we got Atomic Cocktail. Yada yada. Okay. There we go. Back to it. I'm just going to do that next time. If it crashes, that's bullshit. So, there we go. Alright, so 5,600 there. Let's just keep doing 4s. Alright. Boom. Here we go. Attempt number 4 salvage. Look at that. 4. Holy shit. Ask and ye shall receive. Alright, so that's 12,600 there. So I'm going to get my next prize.
Quite simply the talk of the casino right now with your astonished...
Alright, so we get the suite. Okay, I like it. And then now I'm going to go back, and now I got to bring up my spreadsheet here. Wow, would you look at that, the big W. I think that was kind of the game's way of apologizing for shitting the bed after my last win. Although, once again, doesn't really matter because I was able to reset the total to what it should have been before the game crashed, and once again, I think that's fair. But I want to address one thing real quick that you may be wondering if you're watching closely, which is how am I placing such odd bet amounts on the table? So for example, 142 chips. Because the game restricts you to certain bet sizes. You can place bets 1 through 10, no problem. But then once you hit 10, it starts to jump up by increments of 5. So I can place a bet of 10 or a bet of 15, but I cannot place a bet of 14. And then when you get to 40, it starts to jump up by increments of 10. And once you get to 100, it jumps up by increments of 25. So how do I place a bet of, say, 142 chips on a single number? Well, the way that I'm doing it is by taking the difference between the bet amount that I want, which is 142 in this case, and the maximum bet, which is 200, okay? And then I take that difference and I place it on the table in 1 or 2 bets. So in this case, I need to put 58 chips on the table. So I put down 1 bet of 8 chips and 1 bet of 50 chips. And then what I can do is I can max out the bet by increasing it, and Bethesda will take the bet all the way up to the highest it can possibly be to get 200 chips on the board. And so I can then place a bet of 142 chips. So I put that bet on the number that I want, and then I remove the 2 other bets that I made, the bet of 8 and the bet of 50. Then I've got 142 chips on the table, and that allows me to make a specific bet. It's extremely tedious and annoying as shit, but it'll get the job done, all right? It's going to be 180 on a dozen, so let's put 20 down here. 180 on a dozen. We'll just do the first dozen here and finish it. All right, come on, come on. We got this, we got this. There we go. All right, we did it. Hell yeah, we got banned from this casino here. And boom. All right, move around so I don't get fucking crashed. He's going to kick me out.
You must leave
And then, fine. So yeah, we're pretty early on in the attempt, and we're already getting kicked out of the Ultra Luck, so things are looking pretty good. Let's see if our luck continues as we head on over to the tops and see if we can't win 10,000 chips, unlike last time where we failed miserably. We choked as soon as we got to the tops. Let's see if we can change that. Oh, hell yeah. We just got to win on a 4. All right. 5,000. He's running over to give us something.
Baby, Lady Luck must be smiling at you today. Compliments of the Tops Casino. Enjoy this fine meal and please, keep playing those games.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Brahmin steak and wine. Very cool. All right. Well, there we go. We're off to a pretty good start here. And now we're in range, so I need to translate this over real quick. I have this in terms of the Ultra Lux. Let me just do that real quick. So 5,000 chips, and once again we're in range of hitting our goal, getting kicked out of the tops at 10,000 chips. Let's see if we can actually do it. Can we see this through and get further than we've ever gotten in this challenge? Let's see. And finish the bet there. 4. All right, look at that. That's exactly what I needed. And there we go. We've been banned from the casino. Fuck yeah. All right. Hopefully it doesn't crash.
Okay, pal.
There we go. That's 2 down at 1 luck. What? Why?
You've taken us.
I have 1 luck, man. I've taken you for a ride. I've only got 1 luck. Look at this. Look at this, bud. 1 luck. And yet I'm still getting kicked out. All right. Let's go ahead and save it in case it crashes. Yeah, there we go. Boom. And let's head on over to the last member of the strip, which is Gamora, which should be the easiest, technically, but let's not jinx it, okay? So yeah, we head on over to Gamora, realize that I forgot to cash out at the tops, go back to the tops, cash out, come back to Gamora, and we're going to see if we can't close out all of the casinos on the strip. Now, I should mention, up until this point, I had only planned on trying to get kicked out of all of the casinos on the strip, because that's all that's required to get the achievement, The Courier Who Broke the Bank. But my plans may have ended up changing a little later. for a very, very important reason, which we'll get to. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm thinking this is the last casino I gotta go to. So let's see how it goes. Can I get the 9,000 chips to secure the W at Gamora? Pick you up, pick you up. Send it. Alright, there we go. Alright, give me the money, give me the money. 4! Oh my god, we did it. Holy shit. Okay, we did it. Fuck yeah, we got the achievement.
No more games for you. Go rob the tops.
The courier robbed the bank.
Have some
Broke the
drinks,
bank.
Talk to some dancers, but you are done at my tables.
Holy shit. Alright, well we did it at 1. Look at that. Read it and weep. 1 luck. 1 luck, and we've gotten kicked out of all 3 casinos on the strip. Holy shit.
Welcome to Gamora. How can I help?
Alright, well, I'd like to turn in my chips. Caps. Alright, well, there you go.
Have a good time.
Look at that. Would you look at that? Alright, so I mean, we're down like 5,000 caps because I had to update the memory because of the fucking, you know, game crashed or whatever. But goddamn, man, we got kicked out of all 3 casinos with 1 luck playing roulette with the maximizing our chances of hitting our numbers. And there you go. We were able to get it on attempt 4. I was so stoked to be done with gambling. I'd beaten all 3 casinos on the strip and gotten the achievement. It was all over. All I gotta do is edit the video, and I'm in the clear, man. Until I went to sleep, and I had an earth-shattering, groundbreaking epiphany that completely changed everything. Let's hear what that was. So I woke up this morning, and I thought, it's simply not going to be a catchy enough title unless I get kicked out of every casino in Fallout New Vegas, not just the ones on the strip. And so I figured, let's go for it. I'm going to go for the Atomic Wrangler and the Vicky and Vance Casino next. Now, I'm not going to do, the Sierra Madre thing? Shut the fuck up, dude. Stop it. Not interested. Get the hell out of here. Okay? In any case, I'm not going to go for the Sierra Madre or whatever the hell it is, because it's in DLC, and I don't even have the DLC, so there we go. Alright. So I head on over to the Atomic Wrangler in Freeside, and all I had to do was win a measly 5,000 chips. That's already within range of winning the whole thing in one single bet, so how hard could it be? Well, things were not looking good immediately, and I was getting extremely discouraged because that would mean I'd have to start all the way over again. Or more realistically, I just released the video with the lesser title of getting kicked out of all of the casinos on the strip with 1 luck. But luckily, around the negative 12,000 mark, which was our winnings at the time, which was only 3,000 or so off of complete failure, things started turning around. Alright, we gotta win. Look at that. Alright, we gotta win. We're back in the game. We're not out of this yet. So we're at negative 5,487 now. Alright, not the worst. We can get out of this.
He said what?
Not the worst, he says, when we're down 5,000 chips, the amount that we need to profit in order to get kicked out of the Atomic Wrangler. In my head, things were looking pretty bad, and from there on out, it was not a smooth ride. Lots of ups and downs and ups and downs. I felt like I was on, you know, in a rodeo, riding a bull, trying to just stay on this fucking thing to close out this challenge. But eventually, things started to settle. I ended up getting a prize from the Atomic Wrangler, and, and then finally, 2968, we're doing a street for 185. All right, for 185. So let's put down 15. We can put down 15. 185 on this street. Right there. And then let's pick this up. Finish bet. All right, 185 on the street. 12. Was that on it? That might have been it. It was it. All right, all right. You've reached the jackpot limit, but feel free to explore the other services here at the Atomic Wrangler. Fuck yeah, dude. All right, I got banned. Okay, we got banned at the Atomic Wrangler. Hell yeah! All right. Let me go ahead and save this. So despite all the choppy waters, we finally got kicked out of the Atomic Wrangler, and there was only one thing left to do. Go to Prim and pray to fucking God that I can actually get kicked out of this last casino, the Vicky and Vance. They only have a cap of 2,500, so it should be the easiest to get kicked out of, but we just saw what happened at the Atomic Wrangler, where I almost lost. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But when I got to Prim, there was a little bit of difficulty figuring out how to even gamble at the fucking casino, because there's some bullshit that happens that you have to do beforehand before you can even gamble there. So let's tune into that. All right, come on. This one's the easiest one, so this one should be doable. I'm hoping I can gamble yet. Let's see here. I think I did the quests here and stuff, so we should be good. Vicky and Vance Casino, come on. So yeah, it turns out to even be able to gamble at the Vicky and Vance Casino, you have to do a bunch of bullshit. You gotta get a sheriff, you gotta leave for a certain number of days, and you gotta come back, get rid of these NCR deserters who come to town. Then you have to leave again and wait for 3 more days, and then finally you can actually gamble in this godforsaken town. So I did all that, and then I can actually get on with the challenge. Thank you, Bethesda. 3 days. All right, here we go, here we go. This should be it. Should be it. Come on. There we go. All right. Here we go. I'm going to save it right here. Now we just got to do the Vicky and Vance, and this is supposedly the easiest one. I mean, not supposedly. It's 2,500 caps. The Vicky and Vance, the last leg in my journey of 1,000 miles. Will it happen? Will I be able to secure the dub and be potentially the first person to ever get kicked out of every casino in Fallout New Vegas with only 1 luck? We'll see. We'll see. You know, all we got to do is win 2,500 chips. But that's easier said than done when we're working with a house edge. So, let's see what happens, man. 196 on a split. 8 or 11. Come on. Give me 8 or 11. 11. Oh my god. Holy shit. Dude, we did it. You've been banned from gambling at this casino. Alright, well there you have it, guys. I've gotten banned. Oh, here we go. Let me see what this guy says.
Sorry, you just win too much. We can't let you play here anymore.
I win too much, and I've got 1 luck, buddy. 1 luck right there. So, we have gotten banned from every single casino in Fallout New Vegas' base game. So, the 3 on the Strip, the Atomic Wrangler, and the Vicky and Vance Casino. All within 4 saves. This is attempt number 4, and I was able to do it. So, there you go. It can be done. And I did it. I'm pretty excited. Holy shit. I mean, that's pretty unlikely. It's to do all 5 casinos in the base game, that's about a 1 in 12 chance. And I got it on attempt number 4. So there you go. Let's go ahead and cash out, see what our earnings are.
Welcome to Vicky and Vance.
All right. Let's go ahead and turn in our chips. And boom. We lost 100 from paying off the fucking... I don't know, the Raiders, because I didn't want to have to deal with it. Let's put on our Dapper Gambler hat, and there we go. Holy shit. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It took me 4 attempts and about 3 hours of straight gambling, but I was able to get kicked out of every single casino in the base game of Fallout New Vegas with only 1 luck. Now, as I mentioned in the video, I was able to determine what the rough odds of success were by running simulations before I started this whole thing, just to make sure it was actually feasible. And I came to the conclusion that you have about a 1 out of 7 chance of getting kicked out of all 3 casinos on the Strip, if you follow the strategy that I was talking about. And if you want to get kicked out of all 5 casinos, you have about a 1 in 12 chance. So I got pretty lucky being able to do it within my first 4 attempts. but it's not like unheard of luck. You know, each time it's about a 1 out of 12 shot. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and let me answer the question. Was it worth doing this? Fuck no.